All right, so today we're diving into a story that honestly feels like it was ripped straight from a thriller, but it's all too real. It's about a mother, a family in an absolute crisis, and a really baffling crime that all started in the dead of night.
For 18 days now and counting, a family has been waiting. An entire community has been searching, and law enforcement has been in a flat-out race against the clock.
I mean, this is the central, terrifying question at the heart of this entire case, isn't it? It's a question that has left both investigators and the public just completely stunned.
So in this explainer, we're going to walk through the timeline, dig into the evidence, and look at the desperate search for answers in the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. Okay, so first things first. Who is Nancy? And what were the circumstances that turned what should have been a quiet Saturday night into a national nightmare?
Well, Nancy Guthrie is the 84-year-old mother of a pretty well-known public figure, Savannah Guthrie. And of course, that connection has brought a ton of national attention to a case that began in a quiet Arizona suburb.
And the details here are just absolutely chilling. She was taken without her phone, without her vital medication. The first signs for the family that this wasn't just, a simple missing person case were just grim. They found blood on her porch and then noticed a sudden, completely inexplicable disconnection of her pacemaker's monitoring app.
Now, what's really fascinating about this case is just how precise the timeline is. Investigators have a really small window to work with here.
In fact, from the moment she got home safe and sound to the moment she was likely taken, we're looking at a period of less than 5 hours. The whole thing.
Okay, let's just look at this for a second. At 9:45 p.m., everything is totally normal. She's dropped off after a game night. But then, in the early hours of the morning, things take a very sinister turn. At 1:47 a.m., the doorbell camera just goes dark. That was a deliberate act. And then get this, just 41 minutes later, at 2:28 a.m., her pacemaker app loses its connection. That's the moment. That's when investigators believe she was forcibly removed from her home. And this just perfectly illustrates the horrifying contrast, right? While her family thought she was safe in her bed after a really lovely evening, a methodical and targeted abduction was actually unfolding. They thought they'd just talk to her in the morning, totally unaware that she was being taken from them.
But you know what? This wasn't a clean getaway. As the investigation got going, it became really clear the abductors left behind a very strange and very specific trail of clues.
So, investigators are working with 3 key pieces of evidence. First, video surveillance caught someone carrying a very specific brand of backpack. Second, these really theatrical ransom notes were sent to media outlets demanding millions in Bitcoin, which, is a move designed to make the payment virtually untraceable. And third, a single glove, a potentially huge forensic lead, was discovered right near the crime scene.
So, here's the crucial question. With all these seemingly specific clues, why hasn't there been a breakthrough? What are these little pieces of the puzzle actually telling law enforcement? And this brings us right to the investigation itself, which is a fascinating look at how modern forensics can be both incredibly powerful and also surprisingly limited.
That single glove is by far the most promising lead they have. It's got the suspect's DNA on it, but that incredible breakthrough pretty quickly led to a dead end.
Let's break this down. They successfully got a full DNA profile from that glove. Great. Then they ran it through CODIS, the big national database of criminals, and got nothing. No match. So what does that tell them? It means the suspect probably doesn't have a prior criminal record. So now they've had to pivot to a completely different approach: genetic genealogy. This is the same technique that famously helped find the Golden State Killer. It uses public DNA databases to try and find a suspect's relatives, letting investigators build a family tree that could lead them right to their person. And amid all of this, the authorities have been forced to deal with all the online rumors. The local sheriff has been really firm, calling any speculation about the family's involvement cruel and stating, with no uncertainty, that they are the victims in this and nothing more.
So, beyond the forensics and the timeline, this is a human story. It's about a family's pain and a community's really desperate efforts to help.
The community response has just been massive. A reward for any information that leads to Nancy's safe return has now grown to over $200,000. That's a combination of funds from the FBI and private donors.
And through all of this, the family's message has been painfully clear and direct. Savannah Guthrie has made these public pleas directly to the kidnappers, not with anger, but with just pure desperation, saying, "We will pay. Just bring her home."
Their final message isn't just for the kidnappers, but for anyone out there who might know something, however small it seems. It's a message of hope that someone's conscience will finally lead them to make the right choice.
And that's where this story stands right now. It's a race against time, fueled by forensic science and a family's unbreakable hope. If you have any information at all, the number is right there on your screen. Because in a case with so many strange clues, the one that really matters might still be out there. The only question is, will it be found in time?